All right, everyone. So we are back here continuing our series previewing starting lineups for the Philadelphia Eagles. This time we have the defense. In the last video, go check that one out if you haven't. We did the starting offense, and today we're going to be doing the starting defense as they look to put out another stellar year defensively. One of the top units in the NFL for the last 2 years under Vic Fangio. They look to continue that run, so let's get straight into it. Same format as the offense video. We have the notepad here. I listed everybody that I expect to be a starter and a contributor, so I did not include depth pieces. We'll talk about some depth guys here and there, but we're going to focus on the guys who are actually going to be starting and making impacts and making plays on a weekly basis. So we have head coach Nick Sirianni. We talked about him with the offense. I mean, he has no control over the defense. He knows nothing about offense or defense, so just have him there. Vic Fangio returns as the defensive coordinator. Thank God. There were some rumors about Fangio retiring in the offseason, and there would have been a load of 45 in my mouth. The day Vic Fangio retires is going to be a very sad day. Just one of the best defensive minds in NFL history. One of the best coordinators in NFL history. The guy's just an absolute legend. We are so lucky to have Vic Fangio on this team. Obviously continuing the, cover high quarters, cover six coverage that he's been running pretty much the entire time in Philadelphia. Returning again this year. Edge group looks a little bit different this year. I wanted to start with talking about Jalix Hunt because it's just been a joy to watch Jalix Hunt's development. A third-round pick in 2024 out of Houston Christian, some middle-of-nowhere school where he was actually playing safety before turning into an edge rusher. Somebody that nobody really expected the Eagles to pick in the third round. Someone who was an absolute freak athlete in the combine. And he's done nothing but develop and turn into a force on the Eagles. An absolute force. 3 interceptions last year. Hilarious as an edge rusher. Now, okay. He does play edge. Some of these guys also play outside linebacker. I didn't want to get into the messiness of, discerning them categorically because some of these guys go back and forth. Hunt does play on the edge, does play outside linebacker. I just considered him an edge because it's usually what he plays. But his speed is absolutely incredible. He is just a freak athlete, just an utter freak athlete. 6.5 sacks last year, 2 forced fumbles, 3 picks. Very, very good last year. Good against the run, getting better as a pass rusher. It just has all the physical tools to keep growing. I think this can very much be an 8, 9, 10. If he hits double-digit sacks next year, this is going to be one of the just best stories in the NFL, honestly. Seeing him develop into a really, really good player for the Eagles, I want him to get extended ASAP. I want him on this team for a very long time. Just an incredible story for Jalix Hunt. Will continue to be an incredibly important part of this defense next year, as he just really has been since the second half of 2024 when he really started picking it up. He was big time money in that Super Bowl run, big time money last year when Nolan Smith went down. Just absolutely awesome to watch Jalix Hunt. And then we get the big acquisition from the offseason. Jonathan Grenard comes over from the Minnesota Vikings on draft night. This is nice to have. Grenard last year, very unfortunate season, got hurt, didn't have his best year, but still somebody who is an absolute nuisance on a defensive line. Now, I know some of you are going to look at the stats and be like, only 3 sacks? This guy sucks. If you look at 2024, he came over to Minnesota from Houston. He got traded. He put up 12 sacks. Year before, 12.5. I don't know if he's going to be somebody that has double-digit sacks in Philadelphia because Jonathan Grenard is more of a pressure guy, but he's really good at getting pressures. He is somebody that is just a nuisance, just an annoyance, right? He's going to get pressures. He's going to be disruptive. I don't know if he's going to put up a 12, 13, 14 sack season. Obviously, I want him to. We know how this edge group kind of is with Vic Fangio. It's a little bit of everybody contributing. You don't really have that one dominating force. But Grenard can play the run, can stay out there on the field, be a 3-down edge rusher. I'm very excited for Jonathan Grenard next year. I think this is kind of that piece they've been missing a little bit over the past couple years. Now, I know they won the Super Bowl with Jalix Hunt and Brandon Graham. They didn't do it with Bryce Huff because he was a fucking loser. Nolan Smith, like I said, all those guys contributed. They played so well together. They, set the edge. They got big-time sacks when they needed to. But with Fangio and Philly, he hasn't really had, like, kind of a next-level edge rusher. Like, 2022, you had the big Hassan Reddick year where he was Defensive Player of the Year in the running for it. He didn't win it. He was in the running for it. Put up, 14, 15 sacks that year. Absolute animal. You go back 2017, Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox and all that. But in this era, they haven't had the super... Oh, I forgot about Josh Sweat. We're going to get to Josh Sweat in a second. Absolutely amazing in 2024. Amazing on that Super Bowl run. Amazing player. We will get to him because he's related to somebody else on this list and in this video. But haven't had that, like, big-time star type of edge. And I think they really get that in Grenard. They did extend him. He is 29. I think he got extended for 3 or 4 years. So... good. I'm excited to have him. I really am. I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities with the talent on this defensive line to eat, to take up, double teams for other people, to get other people open, running stunts. Grenard's going to be very, very good on this defense. I think he can put up 8, 9, 10 sacks. Again, you just don't really see one player super duper dominate on a Vic Fangio defensive line. You have your outliers like Christian Wilkins that one year in Miami before he went into the Raiders locker room and got his dick out. But other than that, you don't really see that a whole ton. I think Grenard can be really good, and I think he's going to be an absolute pressure machine. He's going to be one of the leaders in pressures in football next season. Really excited for him. And then we have somebody who's become a divisive topic among fans. I think there's a lot of people that don't understand the value of Nolan Smith. He is exceptional at setting the edge. He is probably the best at it on this list. Very good at setting a strong edge on your team. Very good against the run. Makes plays in the backfield. Not your most consistent pass rusher, but he is a good speed rusher. He just hasn't stayed on the field enough. He caught absolute fire in 2024 and is one of the reasons this team won a Super Bowl. He was amazing at the end of that season when he was healthy and he was able to actually get out there and play. Last season, gets injured in the middle, or no, not even the middle of the year. That was like week 3 or 4 he went out, and then really didn't play at 100% the rest of the year. 3 sacks last year, 1 forced fumble, but 6.5 the year before. Only played 12 games last year. Played banged up in a lot of them. I mean, what you want to see out of him is to have a season where he plays all year. And there's going to be a lot of talent on this defensive line. This defensive line is stacked. Okay, this is just the edge group so far that we've talked about. And we have 3 guys that I think could have 8, 9, 10 sacks next year. I really think Nolan Smith has that potential in him. He needs to stay healthy. He needs to be consistent, right? He needs to just play, right? But I think his floor is really high. This is somebody that I would extend and keep on the team because his edge setting for a Vic Fangio defense on his defensive line is invaluable. He's 25, very young still. Nolan Smith, I don't think gets the credit he deserves from Eagles fans and really from the national media. I I, I mean, I would pick him again, right, in the 2023 draft. I'd pick him again. Absolutely. Late first round pick, really good edge setter. Hoped you win a Super Bowl. I think a lot of people discredit Nolan Smith more than they should. And I would really love to see him come out next season and have a big year. Have a really, really big year. But Nolan Smith just a really consistent force on this team, and I see it continuing next year. And then we get into kind of a weird area. I didn't really know who to throw on here as like the fourth, I guess, true edge or whatever you want to call it. I went with AJ Epinesa, somebody they signed in the offseason. Been a consistent veteran player for Buffalo. Did face a lot of injuries in Buffalo. Somebody I liked coming out of the 2020 draft. I think he's a solid veteran player, can play the edge. 6.5 sacks a couple of years ago. 6 sacks in 24. Got hurt last year. I'm okay with him being that last edge rusher. I know some people earlier in the season were talking about Arnold Ebiketie. I don't know who's going to get this last spot. They're going to have somebody else as depth, as rotation. But these guys do still get out there. Oh, whoa. Don't want to get copyrighted on that one. These guys still do go out there and get some run in a Fangio defense because he likes to rotate the defensive line. I mean, same thing with Ebiketie. Veteran player, has had some production. He's more of a speed rusher. We'll see which one of these guys even makes the team. I think Epinesa probably gets in there for that last spot, but we're not going to worry about that too much because we have some fun to talk about. The defensive tackle room, headlined by Jalen Carter. Jordan Davis, we're going to get to him. What a season he had last year. Earned himself an extension. Hell of a season he had last year. Major, major breakout. Same thing with Moro Ajomo. And then Ty Robinson, again, kind of in the AJ Epinesa role. I think Ty Robinson probably gets a second run. We'll get to him in a second, but Jalen Carter, somebody else who has been a decisive figure in not just Eagles fans talks, but national talks. I might make this its own video because there's people that want to trade Jalen Carter. There's that Bleacher Report, I think it was Bleacher Report article that came out the other day that had the Eagles trading Jalen Carter for Josh Sweat straight up. And yeah, I don't know how many crack pipes were smoked when they wrote that. I don't know how many hookers they were snorting cocaine off the buttholes of. I don't know who got high enough to write that article, because trading your 25-year-old superstar defensive tackle for a 30-year-old edge with knee problems with 3 more years of a contract coming up is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Honest to God. Yeah, I don't even know what to say on that one, man. I don't know how high they were when they wrote that. I don't know if there's a gas leak at Bleacher Report. I mean, they got to do a psych evaluation clearly for the people that work there, because I mean, without getting my channel deleted, there's some insults I could use that I won't, but that's just stupid. It's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. A lot of people are weird with Carter. I mean, look, does he have the moments where he does some stupid things on the field and acts immature? Yes, he does have those moments, and it's annoying and it's frustrating. However, defensive tackle in the NFL is a thin position. There's maybe 4 or 5 that are really good, and the drop-off is significant. D tackle for the past couple of years, has been in a very thin spot. You don't trade Jalen Carter. You extend Jalen Carter. Okay. I think it's going to happen. I think they've known that they can hold out on it a little bit because they held out a little bit on Jordan Davis. Let him get that, 5th-year extension. I don't see a world where the Eagles don't extend Carter. I mean, I don't know where this comes from fans that want to get rid of him. His get off is one of the fastest I've ever seen from a defensive tackle. His pass rushing ability is there's like him, I don't know, Chris Jones, Dexter Lawrence, like there's not many DTs that rush the passer as well as Carter. He's just one of the best in the NFL at it. It's really stupid the way people talk about him. He's very good against the run. Are there effort problems here and there that people find on film? Yeah, you can find that. Are there some plays that he gets beat on that he should probably win? Yeah. But the plays that Jalen Carter makes, those big-time sacks, the pressure he puts on, the times he's in the backfield, there are games where he's just living in the backfield. I fail to understand it, other than people just don't like him for his personality. When he's at his best, does he need to get better on a more consistent basis? Sure. Okay, hold on, before I make Seahawks fans mad, yes, I know Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy are really good too. I know Byron Murphy's really good, okay, before I have you in my comment sections, because I've dealt with you before, okay, you sick people. But the way that people talk about Jalen Carter and trading him and not extending him is just ridiculous, honestly. Last season had to play through both his shoulders being injured for most of the season and was still good, right? 24 was excellent. There's a world where the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl 2 years ago. If Jalen Carter doesn't sack Matt Stafford in that playoff game and doesn't get the pressure on him to force the incompletion. That's what Jalen Carter does. When the moment calls, Jalen Carter's in the backfield. I just, his talent, it's amazing, and you don't trade that. You don't do it. Just too good. When Carter is on, he's too good. He is elite. I just find most of it to be really disingenuous. But that might get its own video, because I could just talk about this all day. It's just very disrespectful. On to Jordan Davis. Man, that was a rant. I really like Jalen Carter. I really think most people just don't view him the way they should, and appreciate his raw talent, and appreciate how rare it is at that position. We have Jordan Davis, also one of the most important players on this team, one of the best D tackles in the NFL against the run, somebody who has found his way into being a problem in the backfield. I'm not going to sit here and act like he's the world's greatest pass rusher, but he gets into the backfield, he makes plays, he is elite against the run. He's just amazing. There's nothing I can really say. He slimmed down, he plays more snaps now. There's so many plays where he's in the backfield, he's getting the running back, he's blowing something up. Had his most sacks last year at 4.5, played every game. Just unbelievable how good he is against the run. You can't run on Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. You can't do it. You can't. They're too good against it. And this duo of Davis and Carter, you can't split this up. right? You can't do it. These two are just too damn good together. They are. They're too good. They're too good. Obviously, Davis earned himself a big time contract. One of the highest paid DTs in the NFL now. Deserving. Always have been a fan of Jordan Davis. I mean, at bare minimum, you have one of the best nose tackles in the NFL. What he does at that position, it's rare. It's very rare. The fact that you have two guys who would very easily be DT1s on any other team playing together to give your team a chance to win a Super Bowl, just unreal. Just truly unreal. Jordan Davis, love him. So glad he's going to be around for a very long time, hopefully in Philly. Him and Jalen Carter together, whew, watch out. And then we have somebody kind of in that Jalix Hunt type of whoops, wrong thing. Oh my god, I keep clicking the wrong thing. Somebody in that Jalix Hunt mold. Moro Jomo rounding out as the third DT, somebody who got a lot of run last year, put up 6 sacks as the third DT. Very good pass rusher for a 7th round pick a couple years ago. Somebody who's been a very good rotational defensive tackle. Somebody who just very impressive as a pass rusher. Very impressive, very fast, very quick, very good hands. Very impressive what Ajomo does. I think he's somebody that, could go to another team like a Milton Williams and have a really good year. Really good year. This is a very, very talented player. This is one of Howie Roseman's best picks, I think, as GM. Just unreal the forces that the Eagles can throw at you in the pass rush game when this is your third DT, somebody who put up a very, very good season last year. I hope they extend him early, but I think this is somebody that would probably want to test the market and would probably get paid elsewhere. Kind of unfortunate. This might be one of his last seasons in Philly on his last year of his contract. Right, no 5th year option, obviously. No extension so far. It would really suck, but man, if this is an insane rotation, then you round it out with Ty Robinson, somebody who didn't get much run at all last year. When he did play in the last game, he was pretty bad. I didn't really like him in college. Somebody who's just a primary rusher. I don't think he's very good. I didn't think he was very good in college. He's 25 coming into the NFL. I think they'll give him another shot, right? We could come back to this in a month and a half after preseason and training camp are going to be big for, a Ty Robinson and AJ Epinesa, some other guys we'll get to later on to make the team. But I think they'll give him another run. I hope he's better in training camp and preseason this year, because man, he was hot ass last year. This was hot ass. Very, very bad last year. Very, very bad. But that rounds out the defensive line before we get into the true linebackers. This is insane. I know you have the people that want to get rid of Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith, but altogether, this core basically won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. Now you add in a Jonathan Grenard into that mix. You add in another year of development for a Jalix Hunt, for a Nolan Smith, for a Moro Ajomo. You add in a consistent Jalen Carter season. Jordan Davis really, having that breakout year last year. This front is insane. There's a lot of depth here. There's a lot of power. There's just some of the best players in the NFL in general. And then once we get to the front seven, you have Zach Bond, who is just one of the best inside linebackers in the NFL. I saw the ESPN list the other day. They had him at 4. I would argue he's top 3, right? 2 years ago, he was arguably the best. But regardless, Zach Bond, unreal in coverage, unreal against the run, just a fantastic player, somebody who can play outside linebacker too, right? We've seen him do that, which is how they really, get those different looks and those different weird fronts and stuff that they can throw at you, the weird blitz packages. But Zach Bond, also one of these guys who didn't get a chance before, develops late in his career, and is one of the best players in the NFL. There's just not much to really talk about here. You guys know how good Zach Bond is. I expect nothing less of an all-pro season from him again next year. Fits perfectly in the system, does everything an inside linebacker for Vic Fangio would want. Good against the run, elite in coverage. Zach Bond. He's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Some of these guys, watching them develop in this system has just been a joy to watch. Some joy that I never felt watching a Jonathan Gannon defense, or God forbid a Matt Patricia defense, or a Sean Desai defense. You actually see guys develop and fit and play really well, and Zach Bond, just another amazing season last year, looking to continue that, being an all-pro. Again, there's not a whole lot to talk about right there. And then we get into Jihad Campbell. On the other side of him, last year this was Jihad Campbell at the start of the year. Then Nakobe Dean returned. Campbell, took a back seat. Some people took that as a slight towards Campbell. I never really saw it as that. Dean was the veteran. Obviously, you're trying to win a Super Bowl, right? So you want to have that type of player with that experience out there. Campbell obviously lost some of his run as the season went on, but those first couple games that Jihad Campbell played, I mean, he was somebody that was in Defensive Rookie of the Year talks. He was really, really good. I don't have it pulled up right here, but those first couple weeks, I know a lot of people don't put a lot of stock in PFF, but Jihad Campbell was one of the highest graded linebackers in the NFL. He's very, very similar to a Zach Bond, where he's just outstanding in coverage. Outstanding. Now, his weakness is playing the run. He does get thrown around a lot. He does overcommit to things. Takes bad positions, bad angles, but that's something that you hope would grow, right? Because he has the instincts. He has the physical talent. Unreal athlete. Unreal. He's fantastic. Fantastic in coverage. He's damn near another corner out there in coverage. And when you have that next to Bond, it's just insane. It's truly insane. Now, something with Dean last year was like they were the opposites. Like Dean always struggled in coverage because he was 5'3", and couldn't, mirror people very well. But he was very good against the run. So Campbell was the opposite of that. You're looking to hope. Oh my God, you are hoping to see Campbell get better against the run, but I don't really see a world where he doesn't cement himself as one of the top 15 linebackers in the NFL next year. Maybe top 10. I know that's pushing it a little bit. Linebacker's another weird position that doesn't have, a ton of like, oh my God, the top 15 linebackers could be linebacker one on every team, like wide receiver and whatnot. I don't think it's that way right now, but I mean, this is someone who could be a premier linebacker in the NFL, be one of the best. Obviously, the edge thing didn't work. I mean, anyone with a brain could have told you that probably wasn't going to work. He just doesn't have the build for it. He's too lanky to play edge. Something they tried with him last year. It didn't work at all. I guess you could also be concerned with the injuries with him, right? Dealt with one coming into the NFL. Dealt with some stuff over the offseason. Really hoping to just see Campbell, come out next year and hope that it's a seamless transition, because Nakobe Dean was excellent out there last year. But, I mean, this is a defense that's very kind to linebackers, that makes their lives a lot easier. And Bond and Campbell together were really good at the start of last year. I think they'll continue to be really good into this upcoming season. And again, this is just one of the best front sevens in the NFL. You have a little bit of everything. I mean, there's a reason this was arguably a top 3 defense last year. You could argue it was probably, in the second half of the year, you could argue it was probably the best. Okay. Really good defense. You would hope the offense improves too, because when you're sending your defense out there to die because you go 3 and out on every drive, you would hope that doesn't happen again next year. And then we move into the corner room. Now, I did split this one up because I would like to make the discernment on a couple things, right? I split it up between outside corner and inside corner. Now, I know Cooper DeJean is going to be the safety in base. That's just the base defense. This is a defense that switches around a lot. So Cooper DeJean is still going to be a nickel corner. Will there be times where he plays safety? Yes, because they have extra DBs out there. But he's primarily the nickel corner, the slot corner, whatever you want to call it. Okay? I like to split them up because they are different positions. Now, I'm not saying nickel corner's less valuable or whatever, because Cooper DeJean is like arguably the most valuable player on this whole thing, on this entire team, whatever you want to say. Okay? Just wanted to get that out there. I did split up outside corner and inside corner. So outside corner, led by the All-Pro last year, Quinyon Mitchell, Tariq Woolen, a free agent signing, and then I kept Ringo around because he's a veteran who's been on this team. I don't really know who else they would want to keep on the outside. They did trade last year for I can't say it without laughing, for Jacorian Bennett, who, wow, was he bad. Really bad player, really bad, and there's just not really another outside corner on this team. I mean, I think he's someone that could still get a little bit of run here and there if Quinyon would go down or Tariq Woolen would go, or whatever. I think Keely Ringo is the first man up, which is why I put him on here. But this corner group is insane. It's insane. Obviously, Quinyon Mitchell, I mean, stats don't really mean anything on ESPN for corners, but just a lockdown corner. People don't even throw to his side. They don't throw to his side. His recovery speed's amazing. I don't need to sit here and tell you guys that Quinyon Mitchell's good, okay? He's up there in that elite echelon of corners. I think he's up there in that top 3, that top 2. Him, Patrick Surtain, Derek Stingley, Devon Witherspoon, Christian Gonzalez. There's a lot of really good corners right now. Trent McDuffie, right? He's up there with those S-tier elite corners in the NFL. I think you can argue a lot of those guys for the best, but I think Quinyon is just absolutely unreal. Nobody puts yards on him. Few people put touchdowns on him. They don't throw to his side of the field. In the playoffs, he's stepped up and just intercepted the hell out of quarterbacks. Now, in the regular season, people want to talk about the interceptions that he doesn't have. I'm sick of having this conversation. Interceptions are a nice thing for a corner to add on to. But usually, the ones that have a lot of picks are getting beat up on and are giving up plays and are getting beat, right? Go pull up 2021 Trayvon Diggs and the 1,100 yards he gave up that year and get back to me. Okay? I know he doesn't have any regular season interceptions. No one throws to his side of the field, and he has a pair of bricks on his hands. There's an old saying that, a corner is just a wide receiver that can't catch. And it's true, because Quinyon Mitchell can't catch. And if he was a receiver in the NFL, he'd be flipping burgers at McDonald's because he cannot catch at all. But just one of the best players in the NFL, absolutely elite. It's so nice to have that lockdown number 1 wide receiver eraser. And Quinyon Mitchell, again, there's just, I can't really sit here and tell you too much that you don't already know about Quinyon Mitchell. So, outside of him is somebody that I wanted the Eagles to bring in for a very long time. That is Reek Woolen, whatever the hell his name is. I always wanted them to bring him in. Somebody with exceptional length, 6'4", 210, exceptional athletic ability. He was a late round pick by the Seahawks, really developed. Did have some questionable moments. Somebody who in his rookie year had 6 interceptions, usually has good ball production. This is somebody that gets defended passes and broken up passes and interceptions. Somebody who can give up some plays too. Somebody who has had some character problems and some tackling problems. I think there was a point last year where he was benched for a couple games here and there. But in the second half of the year and into the Super Bowl run for the Seahawks, Reek Woolen was amazing. He was really good. He was really, really good. Obviously, he was the corner opposite of Devon Witherspoon. So it's kind of the same thing in Philly where he can come here, doesn't have the pressure of being, the number one corner, but can really slide into that cornerback 2 role, I think, pretty well. I think this is someone that can have a good season. I think some people are probably overrating him a little bit. I do see a lot of people that are like, oh, he's going to have 10 picks next year and be a superstar. I think he can be good next year. And I think that's all you ask for on that corner position opposite of Quinyon Mitchell, because it was a revolving door last year, right? You had to deal with Keely Ringo last year, who, brother, nothing but a low light reel on that one. Just an absolute revolving door of corners. You had Jacorian Bennett, just absolutely horrible. And then you had the trash can Adoree Jackson on the other side of Quinyon Mitchell. Brutal times we went through last year, some absolutely brutal times. I think Reek Woolen is a very good upgrade over Adoree Jackson. Not much needs to be said right there. And, I mean, Adoree Jackson was still able to be, helped out by the way this defense works, the way the corners and the safeties help each other. Obviously, with good communication, can help each other out. I hope Reek Woolen is good next year. There's a reason he got a 1-year deal. I think it's probably going to be a prove-it deal, and I think he's probably going to be on another team next year. I don't know if they're going to keep him around. I think he's probably going to play well enough to get a longer deal in next year's free agency. So you're probably going to be talking about drafting that CB2 again next offseason, or looking to sign somebody. But as long as you have Quinyon Mitchell locking down the number 1, there's not much you have to worry about. As long as it's not Adoree Jackson. And then again, I kept Ringo as the third corner. He's been on the team for a couple of years now. He's spot started. He started games. Whatever. If somebody goes down or goes out for a play or whatever, I think you can put him out there. Very frustrating. I really thought he was, going to be a steal. I really thought he would be somebody who would come into the NFL and be like, oh my God, he was a 4th round pick. He should have went in the 1st. That just hasn't happened. His hips are just so stiff. Just such a stiff player. Just not somebody that I want to play or watch play football on my team ever again. And then we get into the inside corner. Obviously, Cooper DeJean is that. Now, I know, again, base defense, he's the safety. He moves all around. He's the Swiss Army knife. Same thing with Quinyon Mitchell. I don't need to sit here and tell you how good Cooper DeJean is. He's elite in coverage. Is he the best tackler on this team? He's one of them. I think he probably is the best tackler on this team. Very smart player, very athletic, just very versatile, outside, inside corner, safety, plays everywhere on the team. Gets ball production. He's elite. He's one of the best players in the NFL. And how many times have you heard me say that so far with these guys. This defense is insane. Cooper DeJean fits it so well. Really, I mean, his only weakness is like outside man coverage. Outside of that, he just does everything. He's amazing. I have nothing else to say about Cooper DeJean. I had him as a top 10 pick in the 2024, as a top 10 prospect. I thought he would be a top 15, top 20 pick. He falls to the second round because the NFL is stupid. They make this mistake every time. They let Kyle Hamilton fall. They let Brian Branch fall. They let Malachi Starks fall. They do this every time. Cooper DeJean playing that nickel corner, that safety role, that versatile guy, just isn't valued by the NFL in the draft. And then these guys are just elite, right? Brian Branch, elite. Like Kyle Hamilton, elite. Like, these guys are really good. You should draft them. Actually, no, just let them fall to my team. I'm okay with that. But these are guys that are just invaluable to a defense, especially a Vic Fangio defense, where versatility is just such a huge part of what gets you on the field and what makes you an elite player. And he's the best slot corner in the NFL. And this is just a lockdown corner group. Quinyon, Tariq Woolen, Cooper DeJean. Elite, elite, elite. Michael Carter was still on this team. I think they actually extended him. Somebody they brought in last year at the trade deadline. He's always been one of the best nickel corners when he was with the Jets. Very good player. Very, very, very good, solid player on the Jets for a couple of years. Came to Philly. They didn't try him at safety really at all. They obviously weren't going to put him on the field over Cooper DeJean, so he really didn't play at all last year. 3 solo tackles and pretty much no other stats. Or what the hell? Oh, I read the wrong thing. 12 solo tackles. My bad, I can't read. Just, I think he's a fine depth piece, just somebody that isn't really going to get a lot of run. I would like to see them try him at safety. I think he's somebody that's going to get played a lot, probably in like training camp. Obviously, if DeJean goes down, if Makuba goes down, if Epps goes down, I think Michael Carter would be that next DB up, which is why I have him on here. Just would really like to see him maybe get some shots at playing safety, but we will see. I'm fine with having him on the team. Nothing wrong with having him as depth and him being the next man up. And then you get to really the only weakness on this team, and that's the safety room. There's just about no depth with the safeties, which is why I didn't even put anybody after them, because, you know, there's just not really anything else. Makuba's your free safety. Really rough start to the season last year, but he got a lot better as it went on. Only played 11 games last year, went down with, I think, a broken ankle. Could not come back for the rest of the season, but his ball production looked pretty impressive. He was getting a lot better. His issues really were blowing coverages. When he wasn't blowing coverages, he was good in coverage. His tackling is questionable, but once in a while makes a good tackle. I think this is somebody who does have a bright future in the NFL. Obviously comes back, stays healthy, learns the defense again, cut down on those miscommunications. I think he can be a very good coverage safety in the NFL. And I think for a second round pick in a Fangio defense, that's really what you ask for. Is he going to be a superstar? No. Do I think Makuba can be somebody who can be a good starting safety on your team for a while? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think he's kind of flown under the radar a little bit to Eagles fans. I just think he can be a really good, solid player. That's what I thought of him coming out of college, and that's why I liked when they picked him, and it's why I liked him in the draft cycle. He's good in coverage. He can come in, learn the system next year, really, get it under his belt, and be a good player. And then you have your strong safety in Marcus Epps. I mean, Epps was pretty good last year, actually, when he came back to the Eagles, and actually had to come out and play at the end of the season. Obviously, you lose. Oh my God. Am I an idiot? How do I blank out on that? Obviously, you lose out on Reed Blankenship. Oh my God, it's too late at night, guys. I'm sorry. You lose out on Reed Blankenship. Leaves in free agency, but I mean, you can get away with Epps and Makuba. Obviously, Makuba's a lot better. Epps is your, veteran guy back there playing safety. I'm not gonna sit here and freak out about a safety room because this is gonna offend some people. Reed Blankenship was a fine player. He was not an elite player. He was a fine player. He was fine. He was good. Okay? You want to go back to the Super Bowl run. He was fine. You won a Super Bowl with C.J. Gardner-Johnson getting destroyed very frequently, who wasn't good when he came back at all. Couldn't really tackle. Couldn't cover shit. A lot of miscommunications, a lot of broken plays, gave up a lot of touchdowns that year. He made his flashy big hit once in a while, or interception, whatever, but somebody who was objectively a pretty bad player. There's a reason he was shipped off very quickly, and there's a reason why he doesn't stick around on teams. Not going to get into the off the field stuff with him, but you were able to win a Super Bowl with that starting. So I'm not as worried as I think a lot of Eagles fans are. This is a defense where if the corners are playing good, they can help the safeties, and the safeties can help the corners, right? Pretty much everybody on the field works together. But you have such a strong front seven. You have such a good corner group. You don't have to value safety as much. I see a lot of Eagles fans that want to go out and trade for like Jesse Bates or Buda Baker and like try to get like a really high level safety, and it's like you don't really need that in this defense. You just need somebody who can cover and tackle, and that's Marcus Epps tackles, Andrew Makuba covers. That's about all you really need. I mean, if one of these guys starts getting picked on next year, then we can have that conversation. Somebody that I think they could get cheap if they wanted to trade for a safety would be Grant Delpit on the Browns. Obviously, if they could go out and get somebody a little better than Marcus Epps without breaking the bank, I would be all for it. Because again, you pull up the roster and it's just like, no. Like JT Gray, no. Andre Sam, no. And then you're talking about, undrafted guys, and it's just like, no. No. That's why I would like them to get Michael Carter some snaps at safety, but again, I'm not going to freak out over a safety room. And that rounds out the team. This is one of the best defenses in the NFL, with one of the best defensive minds in the NFL. You have pass rush, you have guys that can play the run, you have coverage, you have tackling, you have an elite corner group, you have some of the best players just flat out in the NFL. You have a safety room that should be good enough to get the job done with a young, hopefully ascending player. This should be one of the top 3, top 2 defenses in the NFL next year. This is a defense that can carry you, that you can lean on. This is one that won a Super Bowl pretty much a couple of years ago. Pretty much the same players, right? Really only have additions. It's not like, you lose Josh Sweat and Nakobe Dean over the past couple of years, and stuff like that sucks, and Reed Blankenship, but you have the guys that can come into this system and pick up that slack, play well, and this is just going to flat out be one of the best defenses in the NFL next year. But let me know down below, who are you most excited to watch? Personally, for me, it's Quignon, it's Cooper, it's Jalen Carter, Jalen Hunt, some of my favorite players on this team. How good also do you think this defense will be next year? I'm putting it top 3 in the NFL, top 2, maybe even the best in the NFL next year. You guys let me know down below in the comment section. On your way out, hit the like button for me, the sub button, the post notifications. Love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.